Welcome to the first video in our Fighting for Our Children's Minds video series, answering what is Flocabulary. Let's stick to a basic, familiar framework. We want to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, giving you an awareness and a basis to make informed decisions for our children. And by the way, it is your choice. You do have a choice and a say. Hopefully, throughout this video, you'll be thinking to yourself, wow, I didn't know that, or I never really thought of it that way before. Ultimately, we want you to be educated and aware that there is choice in public school systems. We're fighting to win back our children's minds from companies like Flocabulary, who sneak their agenda into our classrooms, into our children's minds, right underneath our noses. In this video, we'll expose how Flocabulary operates and how they are leading our children down a path which we have the choice to reverse. What is Flocabulary anyway? You might be sitting there and not even really know what Flocabulary does. Flocabulary started in 2004, is based in Brooklyn, New York, and currently has about 70 employees. They create these short 3 to 5 minute classroom videos covering various lesson topics. All videos are set to hip-hop beats and raps, where the idea is that the hip-hop catches our kids' attention, and the rap rhymes help solidify concepts in memory. Video content is carefully crafted and cross-linked to state learning standards like Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills and Common Core federal learning standards. Flocabulary makes the claim that through the attention-getting hip-hop and the memorable nature of rhymes, the child learns better. So far, so good. All this sounds rather innocent, actually. The good about Flocabulary is rhymes no doubt can be a great teaching tool, and there's no doubt that the hip-hop is a pure attention getter. Flocabulary even cites independent studies showing that their program increases test scores, and even further, they receive what they refer to as qualitative feedback from the schools who use it. So what is the problem? We're glad you asked.
As a concerned parent, show me what is so bad about the lesson content and show me that the kids are learning more.
Let me give you some context. You should know that Flocabulary has a corporate mission to change the face of education and to be culturally responsive and culturally relevant, as confirmed by their CEO in an interview with EdTech Times on August 25th, 2017. What does that mean? Culturally responsive, culturally relevant. Wait, I thought this was just a cool educational program to help kids learn. You're telling me that they want to change the face of education? What does that even mean? Rappaport provides an explanation. The textbook industry is stuck in being conservative, and from my perspective, we think we have this great balanced factual view, but even our bias is somewhere in this. Even their bias is somewhere in this? Well, let's take a look at some lesson content to see exactly what bias he is talking about. Chad, he has 2 moms in his family. 2 men hold hands, cutting their wedding cake together. Be like Che, advocate communist revolution. Let's denigrate our founding fathers, these old dead white men. Let's label them hypocrites. Come on, America is not that great. And change the Second Amendment. Let's take away those handguns. Be like Kaepernick, take a knee. Be an activist. America is a murderous regime. White men killed all the Indians. And America was born of blood and gold. There's just too much whiteness in history. Feel wrong for your white privilege. Israel shouldn't move. It's not their land. And oh yeah, don't be so masculine. That kind of toxicity could hurt you. And don't forget to act cool like my man Dizzy Rascal. This all comes from Flocabulary lessons. Are you getting the idea? They are getting rid of the role of providence in our founding, of Christian morality, of American exceptionalism. Instead, Flocabulary wants to be culturally responsive and culturally relevant. They want to change the face of education.
Okay, but my school says they don't show the bad videos.
Your school does not censor Flocabulary. They can show anything they want. Flocabulary is an approved resource. All videos are approved for use. And you have no control over what videos are played. By playing any of their videos, your school forces the impression on our kids that Flocabulary is entirely okay, including the social media stuff they can get into. Our kids can make no distinctions. They see Flocabulary and think, oh, I saw this at school, it has to be okay.
Okay, let's say I agree, but aren't the kids learning more?
Well, let's talk about that. Flocabulary promotes research, claiming that their program is extremely effective and generates significant improvement in test scores. Simply, these studies are just plain inconclusive. There's no proof that we can find that says Flocabulary is objectively effective. In the primary independent study conducted in 2009 for Flocabulary, only 1 out of 8 schools showed any real improvement in test scores. The others showed either inconclusive or marginal results. But this is the study that Flocabulary says proves the effectiveness of their program. But the real test would be to look at our school's test scores over time. It does not appear that our test scores are going up. Based on Flocabulary's claims, we should be seeing improvement, right? But when videos are overloaded with improper grammar, it's hard to really expect otherwise. What we won't argue with is that Flocabulary is at least a fun distraction for our kids. They and other kids across the nation appear to be having fun with it. After all, CEO Alex Rappaport seems to downplay their own effectiveness. He says, to be honest, a big part of what we are trying to do is trying to bring joy to the classroom. You know, make kids smile. This is the allure of Flocabulary. It is fun, it is catchy. The logo is cool, the name is cool. The videos are well produced, but they are also very, very deliberately crafted. It's not just about the videos for Flocabulary. Remember, they want to change the face of education. They want our teachers to use the other products. They want our kids to remember the name. And they do. Kids do remember the name, and kids do look stuff up. Flocabulary knows this. If the corporate mission is to go beyond video, which it is, then they would want our kids to land on their other online places, like their homepage or YouTube or Twitter. When we follow the path to Flocabulary employees' social media accounts, this is where it gets really raw with the corporate message. On the whole, their employees are extremely dynamic personalities, to put it mildly. If we were going to put them in a box, we would call them radical leftist activists, a lot like Che. A number of employees publicly post crude, foul, blasphemous, pornographic, and unbridled anti-American rhetoric that is available to all who follow the Flocab path, including our children. And wouldn't Flocabulary also want our kids to look up the rap artists they corporately promote, like Nipsey Hussle, Childish Gambino, and Dizzy Rascal? These rap artists put out extremely vulgar and violent content, certainly not appropriate for children. This is Nipsey Hussle. Look at these horrible lyrics, which were written in 2016 during the run-up to Trump's election. He says this as a warning to Trump. But yet, the CEO says this about Nipsey Hussle. We need to study him in school and emulate him. We have a lot more going on here than meets the eye. It gets uglier the further down the Flocab path you go. You might be putting it all together by now. Aren't these the same people coming up with the curriculum, the lyrics, and content? Yes, they are. Aren't these the same people who make it easy for our kids to explore the Flocab path? Yes, they are. This is Flocabulary's corporate mission, to go beyond the video. Believe CEO Alex Rappaport when he describes how Flocabulary changes the face of education. It all starts with this little software interface, but that doesn't matter. Forget about the product, forget about the software. What is this technology doing outside of a computer that is changing the classroom? That's where I want to be. If you just look from a different angle, it's obvious what Flocabulary really is and what it really does. There's no amount of value that this tool can provide during the day at school that cannot be corrupted by that same exact company from home at night.